Merry Christmas. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Out of Luke chapter 2. Now there were in the same country shepherds living out of the fields, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were greatly afraid. Then the angel said to them, Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which will be to all the world. For there is born to you this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign to you. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling cloths, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what happened Christmas Day, that first Christmas. God sent Jesus, the greatest present ever given. He did not wait till the world was ready, till men and nations were at peace. He came when the heavens were unsteady, and prisoners cried out for release. He did not wait for the perfect time. He came when the need was deep and great. He dined with sinners in all their grime, turned water into wine. He did not wait till hearts were pure. In joy he came to a tarnished world of sin and doubt, to a world like ours of anguish, shame. He came as light would not go out. He came to a world which did not mesh, to heal its tangles, shield its scorn. In the mystery of the Word made flesh, the Maker of the stars were born. We cannot wait till the world is sane, to raise our songs with joyful voice. For to share our grief, to touch our pain, he came with love. Rejoice, rejoice. Written by Madeline L. Engel. I love Christmas carols. And at the end of that, it says, we cannot wait till the world is sane to raise our songs with joyful voice. I love Christmas carols. You know, the radio starts playing them right about Halloween. Some people get tired of them. But, you know, I like the Christmas carols we sing in church. You know, some of the secular ones, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Some of those kind of get a little old after a while. St. Augustine said, He who sings prays twice. Christmas hymns have been around as long as Christmas has been celebrated. In fact, the earliest known Christmas hymn was written by St. Hilary of Poitiers in the year 336 AD, just 23 years after Constantine legalized Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. It was called Jesus, Light of All Nations. Though there's no way of knowing the original melody, it was the first Christmas hymn. I want to do something light for Christmas, enjoyable. Until the Middle Ages, Christmas songs were almost exclusively hymns for religious service. St. Francis of Asbury helped to speed along the development of carols with his creation of the manger scene, which spurred religious piety among the laity. Originally, these carols were based on hymns sung by monks, and some have survived to this day. O come, Emmanuel. Sounds like a chant that the monks would make. And essentially, it was. It's a paraphrase. The exclamation, O come, Emmanuel, that were chanted as part of the liturgy of the hours as Christmas approached. The lyrics of the carol go back to the 12th century or earlier, and the melody at least as far back as the 15th century. Interestingly, though, the song is sung in many languages all over the world, and the same ancient melody is used everywhere. The tune was first put to lyrics when it was translated into English. So it's specifically the English version that is spread throughout the world. O come, Emmanuel started out as a chant for the monks to count down Christmas. How about the favorite, O come, all ye faithful? It's another ancient carol, probably originally composed by the monks in the Middle Ages, but the exiled English Catholic gave us the English version. Do you know it was illegal to practice the Catholic faith in England from 1588 to 1829? John Wade, having escaped to France, had a successful career as a musical copyist known for his beautiful calligraphy, his writing. In 1751, he penned O Come, All Ye Faithful, the first known version of the carol in English. Did he actually write it? We don't really know for sure, but he gets the credit anyway. Of course, this was not the earliest English Christmas carol. The earliest English carols that we know of were written by John Audeley, a monk affectionately known as Blind John. On his deathbed in 1426, when he put his things in order, he put together a collection of his writings that included his own Christmas carols. God rest ye merry gentlemen. Although none of Blind John's carols are sung today, God rest ye merry gentlemen goes back almost to his time. The familiar tune is mentioned in Charles Dickens' classic A Christmas Carol, the singing of which so annoyed the old grump that Scrooge seized the ruler with such energy of action that the singer fled in terror. One of the songs I do like is What Child Is This? What Child Is This was born out of a near-death experience. In 1865, William Chatterton Dix, a manager at an insurance company, became bedridden and depressed after a severe life-threatening illness. His experience reignited his faith, and he authored several hymns, including this one. When it was finally published in 1871, it was set to the tune of Greensleeves, a romantic ballad from the 16th century about a man serenading his rather aloof lady love. How about Silent Night? We close our candlelight service with it. It was penned in 1818 by a young Austrian priest who asked the church organist to write a melody to be played on the guitar. Why would an organist who barely knew how to play a guitar use that instrument for Christmas Mass? It would seem the church organ was out of commission. Whether it was damaged by flooding or hungry church mice is unknown. But the result is simple, touching song that's become one of the most frequently recorded Christmas carols. We have an American Episcopal priest to thanks for translating it into English in 1859. Another one of my favorites is Hark the Herald Angels Sing. In a Christmas program they did years ago at Oak Grove, one of the lines that they made when they sang Hark the Herald Angels Sing, one of the kids said, I didn't even know blue pad angels, since my real name is Harold. The cheery tune of Hark the Herald Angels Sing was not the author's idea. Charles Wesley, one of the founders of Methodism, requested a slow, somber melody when he wrote the song in 1739, but apparently it wasn't terribly popular that way. In 1840, a new collection of carols featured a melody adapted from a cantata by Felix Mendelssohn. The cantata was interestingly originally written to commemorate the 400th anniversary of Gutenberg's invention of the printing press. Rather unlikely source of a Christmas carol, wouldn't you think? How about O Holy Night? The hauntingly beautiful O Holy Night was an instant hit, but it was banned by the French church soon after. In 1847, a French parish priest asked a local poet to write a Christmas carol, even though the poet's church practice was a little bit shaky. The poet wrote the beautiful lyrics and asked a composer friend to create the music. The magnificent carol quickly spread throughout France. However, the local church soon discovered that the author was a socialist and the composer Jewish and banned the song for a time. But the people continued to sing it, and in 1871, on Christmas Eve during the Franco-Prussian War, a French soldier ran out of his trench unarmed and began to sing this carol. Silence fell across the battlefield, and when he was finished, a German soldier came out and sang a favorite German carol, and a Christmas ceasefire followed. The miracle of worshiping in music. One of my favorites is Away in the Manger. It's an American tune, finally hits the list with Away in the Manger, written around 1885. But the original promoters claimed it was written by Martin Luther, the German founder of Lutheranism, in the early 1500s. Though popular among Pennsylvania Germans, it was unknown in Germany until years later. The song may have been connected with Martin Luther simply because the author of a collection of Christmas songs wanted to make it sound more impressive. Basically, it was a marketing gimmick. One that we sang at Christmas is Little Drummer Boy. It's another American original, but is it? It was written by a schoolteacher, Catherine Kennicott Davis, in 1940. Mrs. Davis noted on her manuscript, Czech's carol freely transcribed by KKD, but did not specify the carol. The story is similar to the 12th century legend, The Juggler of Notre Dame. In the story, the old poor juggler had no gift for the Christ child on Christmas, so he went to church on Christmas night in front of the statue of Our Lady, holding a somber-looking child. He juggled the best he'd ever juggled, And when he was finished, Jesus was smiling, as the drummer boy had nothing to give but his music. Then how about the 12 days of Christmas? No, not the historical one that we talk about. The Catholics claim it, Protestants claim it, and non-Christians say we're both wrong. As the story goes back, when practicing the Catholic faith in England could put you in the gallows, parents secretly used this Christmas carol to teach the children the catechism. 2 turtle doves represented the Old and New Testament. 3 French hens were the 3 theological virtues of the Trinity, and so on. Of course, since non-Catholic Christians, many of the same beliefs, many Christians claim that as a way to teach Christian children the faith, not specifically of Catholic children during the time of persecution. It's never been settled whether it was Catholic or Protestant. And one that I like to sing throughout the year is Joy to the World. My daughter used to get upset every time we'd sing Joy to the World and they announced it in church. I'd yell, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Finally, she heard that song, Jeremiah was a bullfrog, one time on the radio by Three Dog Night. She says, hey, Mom, that's that stupid song that Dad sings at Christmas. I think it's my favorite Christmas carol. I request it at different times during the year because I believe that joy in the Lord should be an everyday thing. And you know something? I'm right. Because you know it was not originally meant to be a Christmas carol. Since 1719, Joy to the World had been a Christmas staple. Its lyrics were crafted by Isaac Watts, and to date it remains one of the most published hymns in North America. However, the fun fact, the song wasn't even intended to be a Christmas carol. Its original version had no such link with Christmas. It was supposed to be talk about the coming of Jesus. According to church history, Isaac Watts is one of the most prolific and celebrated creator of hymns. But his most famous creation, Joy to the World, was born of coincidence rather than desire. In 1719, Watts published the Psalms of David, a collection of poems where each verse was based on a psalm. But instead of translating the original text of the Old Testament, he made some subtle adjustments. His poems referred more explicitly toward the works of Jesus, thus seeking inspiration from the New Testament. The majority of the hymns of the Psalms of David now fallen into obscurity, except for the second part of Psalms 98. Joy to the World, one of our famous Christmas songs, was never intended to be a Christmas carol. So those are the stories of some of the famous Christmas carols. I hope you enjoy hearing about them, and when you sing them, you'll think about what they mean. It's a wonderful day. It's cold. It's icy, but it is Christmas, and Jesus was born. May God give you a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful day, keep you safe and healthy. May you have a happy New Year. God bless and Merry Christmas.